Every hunt holds a single instant where everything balances and then it tips. There is a moment when escape is still possible, and then, in a breath, there is not. The hunter does not blink. It has found what it was looking for. Morning light slides beneath the clouds and spreads in broad, luminous bands. Trees stand like dark sentinels while morning gathers behind them. The ground remains cool, holding the last breath of night beneath the grass. Dawn gives the plains a fragile calm that will not last for long. The first rays stretch low across the land, searching every surface. A single bright edge along the horizon can transform the entire landscape. The sky deepens from pearl to gold as the day prepares to begin. Before the heat returns, the savannah wears its softest colors. The first sunlight touches the highest branches and leaves the roots in shadow. Long silhouettes reach westward while the sun remains low in the east. Every tree becomes a bold shape against the glowing sky. The plains seem newly formed when the first direct light reaches them. A thin layer of mist softens the land and hides the true distance. Low sunlight turns dry grass into a field of copper and bronze. Fire removes old growth, returns minerals to the soil, and opens space for new plants. The grasslands are built to recover from forces that repeatedly sweep across them. Fresh shoots can rise through ash and begin covering the scars of fire. Roots protected in the soil are ready to respond when moisture arrives. The change looks final, but much of the grass survives beneath the surface. The burning front may cross great distances in a short time. Behind it, blackened earth replaces the pale colours of the dry season. Its destruction is also part of the savannah's long rhythm of renewal. At midday, brightness flattens the landscape and pushes distant detail into haze. Early and late in the day, low light reveals every fold and trail across the ground. Shadows stretch over the grass and briefly give depth to the broadest spaces. Sunlight dominates the open plains because there are few obstacles to interrupt it. Cloud cover can change the character of the plains within seconds. A dark shadow moving across the land cools one area while another remains exposed. Flames move quickly, where dry stems form an unbroken path through the wind. Fire creates another powerful transformation across the grasslands. Animals crossing these boundaries appear and disappear against changing backgrounds. Sun and cloud divide the savannah into shifting fields of brightness. Some confrontations end when the predator realizes the risk is too great. Healthy adults often survive because they appear expensive to attack. Predators calculate effort and danger, just as herbivores calculate escape. Alarm behavior also informs nearby species that did not see the threat themselves. Several herbivore species may respond to one another's warning signals. This mutual assessment can prevent a chase from beginning. Mixed groups benefit from different heights, senses, and viewing angles. Defense can require moving against the instinct to escape. A tall browser can see over vegetation that hides danger from smaller grazers. Smaller animals may hear or smell threats missed by larger companions. Shared space becomes safer when many species contribute different forms of awareness. On the savannah, survival often depends on information that crosses the boundaries between species. Approaching water forces herbivores to leave the relative freedom of the open plains. Paths narrow, banks become crowded, and escape routes may be limited. Yet the final steps toward the shoreline are often the most cautious. Animals pause to watch the surface, the reeds, and the behavior of those already present. The desire to drink grows stronger with every hour of heat. Up close, each tree carries its own unpredictable future. A tree may survive months without water and fall in a single storm. Every standing trunk exists between endurance and chance. Clouds sometimes build above the plains and disappear without rain. The light changes, temperatures fall, and leaves begin to move in the wind. Then the sky clears, leaving the soil as dry as before. Resilience never removes uncertainty. Plants cannot spend their reserves responding to every passing cloud. Dormant buds remain closed until moisture truly reaches the roots. The landscape is stable only from a distance. Survival requires patience even when the signs of change appear promising. Repeated false storms extend the season of uncertainty. This restraint protects the tree from wasting energy. For a short time, the landscape seems ready for relief. The scent of rain rises from the ground, but the relief may last only minutes. Some shallow roots respond immediately to this small opportunity. Droplets collect on thorns and leaf tips, then vanish into the heat. The savannah waits for proof written in wet soil. A brief shower may darken the bark without reaching deep roots. deeper systems remain unchanged until more water arrives. Not every rain marks the end of the dry season. Their decisions become increasingly limited as hunger continues. Efficiency becomes more important as the body loses condition. Thin or weakened hunters have less energy available for long chases. This creates a dangerous cycle in which failure makes future success harder. Predators often survive by accepting whatever food the landscape provides. Insects, eggs, small animals, and abandoned remains can all reduce immediate hunger. Predators, therefore, remember places where food has appeared before. A flexible diet helps hunters endure periods when preferred prey is scarce. Human observers may notice the final attack, but much of the hunter's life is spent searching. Specialization offers great skill, but flexibility offers protection against change. Each kilometer crossed uses energy that must eventually be replaced. Travel between opportunities can cover far more distance than the pursuit itself. Breaking that cycle may depend on a small meal rather than a dramatic kill. Old feeding sites may be checked even after they seem empty. The most adaptable predators can shift their behavior as conditions deteriorate. Scent and tracks reveal whether another hunter has visited recently. This information helps determine whether the area is still worth exploring. Rivals can remove food before the original predator reaches it. Across changing seasons, the search for water remains one of the great organising forces of the plains. The flow of activity around the water is therefore never completely predictable. Calm periods alternate with sudden waves of movement. An empty bank can become crowded and quiet again within minutes. Rivers act like living corridors, guiding animals through landscapes where food and shelter may change from week to week. Even the smallest pool can become vital when every surrounding kilometre has been stripped of moisture. water source can influence the movement of entire herds. The journey to water often begins long before the shoreline appears, guided by numerous and unfamiliar routes. Animals approach open water with caution, because thirst can bring both opportunity and danger to the same place. A crowded bank can hold dozens of species together for a few tense moments of shared necessity. Waterholes create rare meetings between animals that would otherwise remain far apart across the plains. The surface may look peaceful, but every visitor knows that drinking can be one of the most vulnerable moments of the day. On the African savannah, water is more than a resource. It is the force that decides where life can gather, travel and survive. A quiet waterhole can become the busiest place on the plains when the dry season tightens its grip. Lowering the head to drink reduces visibility, making alert companions especially important near the water's edge. Tracks passed into Vietnam reveal how many travellers depended on the same source before sunrise. Yet even in shade, they remain attentive to movement beyond the canopy. Resting reduces heat production and protects strength for later travel. Activity activity often returns when the light softens and the air begins to cool. The giants use these cooler hours to recover distance lost during midday rest. Weather changes the pace of life before it changes the landscape. Cloud cover can briefly expand the time available for feeding. A shifting sky can alter direction, speed, and spacing within the group. The giants respond to weather as an immediate physical force. Storms can offer relief while creating new obstacles. Stillness becomes a carefully timed response to the climate. Shade can turn an ordinary resting place into a valuable refuge. The broad shadow of a tree may attract several species at once. Large animals often claim space simply because their bodies require it. The daily schedule is written by temperature as much as hunger. A cooler wind may encourage movement across ground avoided earlier. Rain transforms both the comfort and the difficulty of travel. Moist air reduces dust, but softens the soil beneath heavy feet. opens another window for feeding and movement. Powerful wings control the approach while the ground rises rapidly beneath them. A successful strike depends on precision more than force alone. Many attempts end with empty talons and another climb into the air. Each return to height offers a wider field of view and another chance. Patience keeps the hunter airborne when opportunity remains scarce. Perched raptors use exposed branches as watchtowers over the plains. Their stillness allows the landscape to reveal movement around them. A small adjustment of the body can prepare for immediate takeoff. The first push from the branch converts stored tension into flight. The descent begins almost without warning, turning stillness into speed. Once airborne, the hunter may cover ground far beyond its original perch. Failure is part of the daily cost of hunting from the sky. Predatory birds must judge not only where a target is, but where it will be next. Wind can alter the final approach by only a few degrees, yet that can decide the outcome. The savanna below becomes a moving pattern of prey, cover, and open space. As evening advances, the savanna reveals shapes that the harsher daylight had flattened. The fading day turns ordinary movement into a scene of scale, silence, and suspense. Movement becomes more deliberate as landmarks lose their sharp edges. The last light allows one final look across the horizon before memory must guide the way. The savanna does not become still at sunset. It simply changes the way its life can be seen. As the air cools, animals begin to move with renewed energy across the fading plains. The final hour of daylight offers relief from heat, but less certainty with every passing minute. Predators become harder to detect as shadows spread outward from every tree and rise. Temperature invites movement, but the changing light demands greater caution. A peaceful herd can become tense as the outlines of the landscape begin to merge. Daytime travelers search for safe places, while night hunters begin to leave their shelter. The savannah grows more active at the very moment it appears to be settling down. Herds often use the cooler evening to travel before darkness removes the distant view. For a short interval, the routines of two different worlds overlap. The savannah teaches that stillness can contain immense potential. Yet from that small beginning, the wider cycle can return. The savannah endures by protecting life in hidden forms. Every season of scarcity eventually gives way to change. The land waits, responds, and begins again. Even a damaged landscape can begin again under the right conditions. The wilderness survives the present by preserving a future. The first sign of recovery may be too small to notice. Its strength is often stored below ground or carried in memory. What seems finished may only be resting. The final light fades over a world prepared to continue. Every quiet ending carries the possibility of another awakening.